All right, I'm here with a very special two guests, actually. So I'm going to get into it here real quick. But a lot of times, and I talked about this with a couple other my guests, but a lot of times the man or the woman on the mat gets all the attention. And there is so much more going on behind the scenes. And we have a team. Behind every good athlete is usually a great team. And I'm excited to sit here with two people that I consider role models in just that team. It is Meredith and Reece Humphrey. Yeah. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Yes, what's up?
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we came all the way over to New Jersey, but you live in the country.
We're in the country.
We do. Yeah.
Whenever I thought New Jersey, like I was thinking I was going to be fighting like skyscrapers.
Right.
And
people don't know Jersey's the Garden State.
That's true. That is very true.
State. We get this dirty Jersey vibe. We get all these bad nicknames. Jersey is awesome.
Yeah. It really is.
We love it.
We were driving through, and I was coming to this little. It's a little town over here called Landry or something like that, or something with an L. It's a little.
Lambertville?
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, It's a very quaint little town. I was like, wow, who would have thought?
Cool.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
I came over here one other time, other than like driving through, but I came over here and I bought a car from a guy and just flew here, picked it up. I bought a R8. You familiar with an R8? They're fast, crazy cars, and I never had owned one. And it's like, hey, I found one in New Jersey. I thought again I was going to be going and getting it in a big city. Yeah. This dude lives way out here like you do.
Yeah.
Beautiful country.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful country. Made.
Yeah, you do.
We've done it. We did
You've arrived. You're here. You're here. So that I pull up and I love your house and your setting, and I've got the chance to talk to your children, and just, man, congratulations. You guys
thank you.
You guys are doing it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work.
It
so
is.
Thank you. I will take the congrats.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of hard work, and we're going to talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
So let's get right into though the fact that you two are a married couple that I assume, and I'm going to make some assumptions here, it's not always easy with the schedules and with everything else going on.
100% easy all the time.
All the time. Okay, well, that's it. Wrap. We're not going to learn anything here.
No drama over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me the story. How did you guys meet? What's this like?
Well, we met at Ohio State. So when he was in his sophomore year?
Sophomore summer.
Summer. I was graduating that summer. So we met in a very small period of time where he says out of like the whole year for wrestling, he only went out and partied like 2 weeks out of the year.
I don't believe that, but
it's true back then.
Was it true?
Yeah. I might do more than 2 weeks a year now.
Yeah.
But back then it was 2 weeks.
Back in the day, it was right after the season.
Okay.
And just like to have the environment to meet somebody like my wife,
right,
and feel good about myself and be confident. And I just came off the season. It's spring, Ohio State. We're going out way more often than I ever would, and I see Meredith at the bar every day.
Is this a local spot that you guys used to hang at?
Yeah. A couple of them. We still go to those places whenever we go back.
Yeah.
But so I saw her from across the way, and I waved.
You waved?
I did a little wave. Yeah, we tell this. I waved, and then we talked and hung out a little bit that night, and then I asked her to go dancing the next night. And
if I know one thing about that guy, he's going to make you dance.
And so. She denies it. But I think I stole her heart on the dance floor that day. Day 2, ugly tuna, Tuesday night tuna.
Okay.
And when you know we're going out on a Monday and Tuesday,
that's pretty serious.
We were going out a lot.
So that's a good story though. So it's right after the season, sophomore year. You guys meet. You kind of kick it off, and you seem like you're. And I know Reece only because a little bit of backstory. You're from Indiana.
Yep.
That's where I'm from. That's where I've coached. I've watched, and probably maybe to his surprise, I've watched Reece since he's probably been a freshman or 8th grader wrestle.
Wow.
Awesome.
Growing up, I was telling Parker that I was like, I've been watching your daddy wrestle since he was your age.
Yeah.
And but I know that he's Reece Humphrey.
I'm Reece Humphrey. I can dance.
He can dance. I've watched him do back spins and head spins and stuff since he's been that old. So
she had never seen anything like that.
No.
Yeah.
So where are you from?
I'm from Ohio.
Oh, so you're born and raised in
The
Ohio?
land of no breakdancing.
No,
Yeah.
none. I mean, literally none.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's in their constitution.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So when you go out with him, because he's got a personality,
Yeah.
are you intimidated or how is this?
No. I
No.
have a personality.
Are you
but-
pretty big too, like that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not with like dancing
But
and
just in
showing
general.
off like that. But
showing
yeah.
showing off.
Showing, we call it showing out.
Yeah.
There's a
That's
showing out.
there's a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
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 So, but that didn't intimidate you.
It worked.
It works.
It didn't
Look,
intimidate.
Yeah.
She matched the level
that's
Yeah.
good.
and
That's true.
surpassed it, and
Dang.
as she does on many occasions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's so funny. So whenever we start hanging out or drinking or doing anything like that, I always end up like wanting to do a dance move, and I always want to coach. So I'm like, yeah, just do your feet like this, 1, 2.
Oh, so you're coaching her on how to do. Yeah.
She can dance. It's been 11
No, I
years of
can't.
marriage.
You can't.
She could-
You can't
No.
dance.
She does.
Barely.
She just looks at me and she goes, "I'm just doing whatever you're doing."
That's-
But at this point, she knows
She
my
knows the
moves.
moves,
Yeah,
yes,
she
you
can
can
do
emulate
it.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's very similar because I grew up. I'm quite a. Wait, you're having a birthday Sunday, right?
Yep, I think so.
Well, your kids told me that your
Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm some kind of superstar.
I figured this out. Johnny DeJulius was on the show. He texted me happy birthday on the 28th, and I honestly I hadn't even thought about it once.
But he's early.
funny.
It's
I go,
Johnny.
it's not my birthday, and he goes, it's like late July though, right? I'm like, oh shit, it's in 3 days.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I honestly didn't.
That's
But
awesome.
Yes,
That's-
Sunday.
That's
is the
Johnny,
day.
man.
Yeah.
Johnny on the
Yeah.
spot. I like
love
him.
Johnny.
We can sit
great.
here and talk about Johnny all night
know.
because he's one of my favorite
Yeah.
people on the
Yeah.
planet.
Yeah.
My birthday's tomorrow.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
Happy
so
birthday.
so
Both of you.
I'll be 45 tomorrow, and
Nice.
are you going to be 35?
36.
36. Okay,
You got to be 35 to be considered old in wrestling, veteran
that's true.
wrestler.
That is very true.
I was 35 last year.
That's right. And so my point is, you kind of the similar time, but you weren't a product of the 80s, so to speak.
I was a 80s baby, 86.
86, but you were influenced by the 80s, but 90s. So you started breakdancing though based upon probably being around people that were from that that era. Because I grew up in the 80s and that was my thing. I love breakdancing.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
That's, I mean,
Yeah.
you're not American if you don't. So,
Yeah, one of my coaches could do it, and he showed me. I was trying to figure out what celebration I was going to do if I won the state tournament.
oh, wow.
And he was like, "Why don't you break dance?" And this like little short, fat, bald dude broke dance, it popped up on his head, spin around. I
No
go,
way.
That's what I'm going
That's
to do.
what-
I learned it the couple weeks, like the whole tournament series. I'm learning how to break dance. I can't do it. And I'm like, I could do it 1 out of every 3 or 4 times. I
Yeah.
win the state tournament. I sent it.
Yes.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I did okay.
So that
was the best one I've ever done.
Wow.
Yeah, up to that point, I've been practicing for 3-4 weeks.
You see that you had me fooled. I thought you were, seasoned at that point.
Well, yeah. After that, I went in.
You were
I got
fully
I
committed.
got the cardboard, tape it out. We used to go to Wendy's parking lots and just
Is that for real?
Uh-huh.
Because I mean, I grew up doing the same thing, so I'm making
That's
sure that
so
you're not
funny.
just pulling.
we
Yeah,
could pull up a cars, put the lights
Yeah,
on. We
dude.
go
Oh
to
my gosh.
random places.
Yes.
We throw the cardboard down, and so everybody on our team could break dance.
that's incredible.
Once I did that, we all learned how to break dance. We were all kind of learning at the same time, learn how to break dance, learn how to backflip, just teaching each other who could be challenging each other,
Yeah.
who could be the most athletic.
Yeah.
And we would dance as a form of athleticism and art.
100%.
And then flipping was awesome. And we never had trampolines, but you saw Parker
Oh, yeah.
out there, my
Yeah.
son. And he's taken that to a whole new level. But
Incredible.
but he can't dance. So
No, he can't dance.
Reese can though.
Reece,
She was talking about
Yeah,
that she
she
liked the
can
hip hop
do it.
dance.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
she's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
she's
cool.
Good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we went off on a tangent on breakdancing because that's part of my heart. Like roller skating and dance and hip hop dancing and breakdancing is like my history.
Yeah.
So I had to talk about it. But the whole thing was that's how you guys met. So you met at Ohio State, Ohio State,
Yeah.
a little bit bigger and a little bit different
I
program.
have some people at Ball State. But yes.
they major mostly partying there, but they get done. But so Ohio State, you guys go out, you hit it off. So what's it look like after that? You're a sophomore. Or were you in school there as
She's
well?
a junior.
Yeah.
You're a junior. Okay. Are
Yeah.
you in sports or you studying or?
Yeah, going to school. I wasn't in sports there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
So-
guys
so we-
short time you date and get married. How long's this courtship?
We dated for what, 2
Not
years?
that long.
Not that long. Maybe not even 2 years.
Yeah, probably a year and a half, 2 years before
Yeah.
we got engaged.
Okay.
Because the engagement story, of course, I loved her. I wanted to marry her from the first second, but I decided I wanted to propose my senior year at the NCAA's.
Oh, wow.
This is the story. Don't worry.
It gets worse?
It gets a lot worse.
Because I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So it has its ups and downs, this story.
Yeah.
But my senior year, I want to propose at the NCAA's. And so in the week of, I'm so nervous. I'm like, I don't need this added pressure. I ended up proposing like at my house. Weakest shit ever.
No, it was good. It was good though. And
But-
I'm glad you did that though, because I don't know if it would have been.
Yeah, she
in front of a
doesn't
big
like the
crowd.
limelight like that. So
Yeah.
if I would have
Yeah.
done that, it would have
Yeah.
been like something for me.
Right.
But she
Yeah.
would have been
Yeah,
embarrassed and
that's
not
true.
liked it.
Yeah,
So it ended
that's
up being
true.
okay.
Yeah.
And I didn't win. Fucking Kyle Dake.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not great, is he?
Dang it. No, I love Dake.
Yeah, I
Yeah, he's
know.
a good dude.
He's so good.
But the way that I got my engagement ring is I play a lot of poker. And so we had a dual meet with IU, Indiana. And then we had on Friday, and we had Purdue on Sunday. On Saturday, we're at the hotel, and I played a $250 Super Turbo on Poker Stars, and I won the whole thing for $33,000. 33 grand. I bought an engagement ring. I put a down payment on the house.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah.
I
know.
I was ready.
That's insane.
I'm on top of
I
the
know.
world. I
I
won
know.
both duels. I'm like,
Yeah.
Indiana, my
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
Can't stop me here.
Bro,
Yeah.
then for it to happen in
Yeah.
Indiana, that's the
Even,
best.
even better.
And I was at your house with your parents partying, and
Yeah.
you called us.
We're calling them like, wait, what's happening? I had the whole team around me. I'm on the computer. It's online.
Yeah.
I have the whole team around me. There's a video probably lost somewhere, but
Yeah.
it's like, hey, Reece, you still in? I'm like, yeah, there's 7 left. Like, got 10K locked up. Like, oh, yeah, 3 left. I think I'm going to win.
Holy
Everyone's
shit.
like, wait, what's happening? And by the time I'm like, we're all in. Everybody's around.
I bet.
Everybody's around, like the whole entire team. Nuts. Everybody
That's
went crazy.
insane.
That's crazy.
Married the love of my life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Live happily ever after. No drama ever. Zero.
Zero. That's the perfect life. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a pretty good start, though. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
it set
great.
us up well.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you got married after you graduated, right after you graduated college.
So
Yes.
yeah, engaged for almost a year and a half.
Yes,
almost
we
2
met.
years.
No, not even though, because we met 2008, and we got married 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then
Year and a half, I think.
Right.
You're okay, and then after you guys decide you get married. It's a big wrestling wedding. A lot of people.
Definitely a lot
Yeah.
of wrestlers.
A lot of
Yeah.
wrestlers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
What's the culture like for you? Right. I mean, were you a wrestling fan prior to?
No.
Didn't
not
know
at
nothing
all.
about it.
Nothing.
Really?
No.
Which was a pretty big advantage for me, I think.
Okay.
So there's a lot of wives that are very involved in wrestling beforehand,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
it puts a lot of pressure on the athlete, I think.
That makes sense.
She never cared. She just
No.
always assumed I would win, and if I didn't, she was there. But it wasn't.
Yeah.
I never felt the pressure. Like my dad's in the corner, or he's in the stands.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He really understands, you know. And so with her, it was always like, "You're my husband,
Yeah.
Right.
not
Yeah.
the wrestler."
That
I
makes a lot
just
of
cared
sense.
about how he felt after
Yeah.
or during. I didn't,
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
My wife is very similar. She didn't get involved in wrestling until we got married. She really didn't even think. Matter of fact, crazy story about her. She said she used to work at a gym, and she's from Oklahoma City, and she's working at this gym. And then when we met in the military, and I was talking to her, and I was like, "Yeah, wrestling, this, that," and talking about doing wrestling, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I met a wrestler one time. He came in, he trained, and she was like going through this whole thing, and she was like, so I think he's pretty good." And I was like, she goes, "I think his name is like Kendall."
Kendall Cross.
I said, "Kendall Cross." She's like, "Yeah, that's him." I was like, "Yeah, he's real good, right?"
He's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, at that point, he was training for the Olympics.
Oh,
my
so I
gosh.
was like,
he's actually in it.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, babe, like that's the best ever at that
Yeah.
point. She actually ran into him at the Night of Champion, the super matches up in there, and she told him the story, and he was like, "Okay, cool. See you later." He was super nice about it. He was like, but he's like trying to figure it out. He was like, "Oh yeah, I remember that gym," but
Yeah,
it was just
yeah.
a random thing. But my wife's very similar. She doesn't get all caught up in the wrestling. She doesn't, when you're hanging out with this, I'm like, oh, that guy, won this or whatever. She's like, cool. She's
that's how I am.
Which I think is better.
Never nervous for any of my things, which takes a little bit of pressure off me. And then
that's incredible.
When she was doing,
I really am not.
Yeah, no,
that's incredible.
But are you nervous when Parker wrestles?
Yes, because
she cares more about Parker. But then she does her bikini fitness competitions. I'm so nervous.
Yeah,
I'm so nervous because
sport what it is,
my life.
The competition of it.
In there, I'm yelling. She was wearing 36 the one time. 36 was her number. I'm like 36. Oh, come on, do the thing, flex, do the shoulder roll.
That's awesome. Do you know much about that world?
Nothing, but I'm still. I know.
Yeah, you're like the wrestling mom.
Yeah,
that knows nothing.
I know nothing, but I'm just here to support.
That's awesome.
I'm overbearing.
I love it.
Doing too much.
Yeah,
all the above.
Well, I mean the commitment. And we'll transition to that as well. You have obviously competed in fitness, which I believe I've been around that world. Some of my friends, they compete in different levels of that.
Yeah,
it is incredibly hard.
Oh yeah,
incredibly hard. Matter of fact, I think wrestling's the hardest sport in the world. I just do. Yeah. But I think that has to be right up there with the dieting and all the just. Very tough. It's very tough. Tell me how you got involved in that. What's
Well, I mean, that was after I had Parker. So I had already had him. I gained a lot of weight with Parker. A lot. A lot.
I was telling your wife out there, she gained like 65 pounds with Parker and then like 25 with Reece.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she celebrated.
Yeah, she went all in. Yeah.
No, I delivered at 176.
Whoa.
So
some of those pictures are some of my favorite pictures of all time.
I just your frame doesn't look like it could carry that.
So after that,
I don't know if it can. See them big legs? I think they got so strong.
Oh my God. No, but after that, I was obviously miserable.
Yeah.
Nobody feels good like that.
No.
And we were getting married 6 months later. So so I busted my ass to get in shape, which I did. And then after that, it just like kind of became an addiction. Like,
she got a trainer.
What else can I do? Like, how can I take this further?
So what was more tough for you, the physical training or the diet?
The diet. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so strict though.
So strict.
And then I'm going to roast myself, but I'd be like, yeah, you should probably cut out water. And just to see what it feels like. You want to be all in? Are you all in?
Yeah.
This is what we do.
Oh man, was he a good proponent to it?
Well, he was, because when I was doing this, he was competing. So there were points where like we were cutting weight together.
Yeah.
We both had something come up, so we didn't drink for 6 months. We didn't, so we were in it together.
Oh yeah,
that makes it much better.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's no way I could do it now.
Yeah, we saved a lot on groceries that year.
I can imagine. But you said you had a newborn at this time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, tough.
Yeah.
I mean, just physically, it's tough.
It's really tough, but also we were both at home all day, every day.
That's true.
And it was such a good time. I don't think I would recommend having kids as young as we did for most people, but I was training full time. We were so focused on what we were doing, and we both got to be home all day, every day.
That's true. Yeah.
And so we both got to raise our kids, and it's pretty rare for something like that to happen.
Yeah.
So I think it worked out so well. I would have hated missing all these moments that I had every single day, even though we felt like shit most of the time.
Right. There's a trade-off.
Yeah. But like, we didn't have the most money in the world.
But you made it.
Yeah, we made it, and it was worth it to us to stay home and be with the kids. Like, I wouldn't trade that for anything now.
Yeah, I have a good story of I was a 2-time world team member. I was making $24,000 a year.
Wow.
And I wanted to ask Tom Ryan for a raise. I'm thinking I'm the man. I got my speech prepared. I'm a grown up, man. I got kids. I'm gonna go ask for this. And I was thinking in my head, I'm 24. I was thinking 35 is a good number. 35. And Tom, he brought me in, and he had a number in mind too, and it was 36. Wow. So he goes, what do you think? What do you think about 36? And I was like, I was thinking 35. Tom goes, done.
Oh no.
I go, what just happened?
Oh no.
But for the 1,000, and my check was fucking 3642.
No,
it was not an
yeah,
even number.
exactly.
And it hurt me every time I saw what I got that month. It was some random number with 7 cents.
That's
And
so funny.
it taught me the best lesson ever. I've negotiated for every job,
Yeah.
every little
Yeah.
social media thing. I've always negotiated, and I've made so much more off of that
Right.
one little mistake.
Yeah.
But God, come on, Tom. Thanks for the lesson, but come on, bro. We're friends.
That's so good. I love that. And from what I will, one day I'm gonna probably have him in here, but I hear so many good things about him,
Oh, yeah.
about those types of things.
And it's so crazy because he was my coach. He's the head coach at Ohio State, but Roselli, when I was an athlete, Roselli was my coach.
Oh, okay.
I always thought that because he does more of the wrestling, and I didn't quite understand what a head coach's position really means. Tom is the CEO. He's the fundraiser. He's the recruiter, and Tom is the best at those.
That's awesome.
He's right up there with the best in the country. Yep. I put him against anybody, and Lou Roselli is one of the best at being the wrestling encyclopedia.
Yep.
Yeah, I ask him something, he teaches me that on the spot. He knows everything. So to delegate those roles and actually take a step back and not run a practice is another advantage that Tom has. And I'm like, I didn't realize it in the moment.
You don't.
But once I started watching things, I'm like, Tom is very, very good.
Yeah. No, it makes a lot of sense. Matter of fact, every person that's sitting in that chair has said those things about the coaches that they admire is that they know their role and they just do it, you know.
And another guy who's phenomenal at that is the Princeton head coach, Chris Ayers. I think I would put him up as the best coach in the country.
Really?
I'm super impressed. I'm constantly trying to learn from him. He's phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Yeah, to do what he does at Princeton is insane.
Segue in from that. Wrestling has taught all of us so much.
Yeah.
What would you say wrestling has contributed to your guys' marriage? Good and bad, or if there is the bad. I mean, I would like to know that because Lauren and Jordan sat right there and we had this similar conversation.
What did they say?
I'll tell you after you tell me your answer.
Okay. You go first. Well, you go first.
Yeah, 35,000.
Yeah.
Deal.
Exactly.
Good wrestling. I lived my whole life by wrestling, right? The discipline, the work ethic, you just get what you put out so often,
Right?
And you learn to give back all the time, and so it's a very selfless sport, but it's also very selfish at the same time. So you're being selfish to your future self by giving up stuff, being selfless,
Right?
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
But in the only bad I would say is I have to travel all the time.
Yeah.
And but I would rather be gone for a week or 2 weeks at a time to chase my dream of being Olympic champion back in the day, or coach my guys now and watch them chase their dreams. It's such an easy trade-off because I'm not 9 to 5.
That makes sense.
I get to be home. I get to hang out. I get to live a very flexible life, and that comes with one disadvantage, and I'm gone.
Yeah.
And so whenever I leave for those trips, I'm always sad. I think she cries every time. She
My wife's the same way.
Yeah.
she told me that the
Yeah.
other day. Reece and her kind of cry after I leave, and I'm sad, and I really am sad. And I always have this moment where I sit on the plane and I play this Drake CD, and as soon as I put that on, I'm in the plane. I go, "That's gone. I'm gonna go have a good time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go coach. I'm gonna do the best I can."
Right.
Yeah.
And that there's always that flip that I have to do mentally because I can't just dwell on, I'm gone.
For sure.
But it was very hard for me when I was younger and I knew she had to be watching 2 young kids.
Yeah.
That was very hard for me on some trips, you know.
For sure.
And I think that we spent more time overseas back then.
Yeah, you
and,
did, for sure.
Yeah, than the guys do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think that's changed a little bit because it was a lot. It was a lot.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, definitely
Yeah.
understand what you're saying. It's tough, but you're doing it for a purpose, and you're doing it for
Right.
them ultimately as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
So that makes
Definitely.
sense.
Yeah.
How about you? What has wrestling done, and what is it like being married to a wrestler from your standpoint?
Well, first, let me say that I cried last time because you randomly told me you were gone for 2 weeks. That wasn't even true. Remember?
Was I joking?
Yes. You were like, all right, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Then I started crying, and he was like, no, it's 6 days.
That's funny. Well, see, he built it up and then brought it back.
Yeah. But no, I mean, all of our and my best friends now I've all met through the wrestling community.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's like, everybody that is in our lives is for both of
It's
us.
so different from my upbringing. So like Parker and Reece, everybody they know is a wrestler. Everybody they look up to is a wrestler. Like legit, I would say 95%.
Wow.
When I was growing up, my dad was in sales, and he would bring his wrestling buddies around, but I honestly didn't even know who he was on the mat or any of that. It was the greatest gift he ever gave to me, because of course he's going to coach me all day, every day. But for me to just kind of learn that on my own and let wrestling be my own choice was so huge.
Yeah.
Constantly trying to bring that to Parker, but it's a little different environment because we're so involved in wrestling right now. He
Makes
knows.
sense.
Yeah.
He knows
Yeah.
the shoes he has to fill or whatever. There's the pressure's there.
For sure.
You know, and we're
Yeah.
trying.
Makes sense.
I'm constantly trying to not put that on him.
Yeah, that's hard.
It's very
It's really hard.
Yeah.
I coached my son as well, and my dad was not a wrestler, but my coach still, you know, and so, but I always wanted to make my son feel like he was my son first. And then, you know, whatever else he wanted to do. However, those lines, and the thing for me was I wanted so much for him because I knew what he deserved and what he worked for. The pressure mounted in me, and sometimes it would come out. You know, I'd be like, and we had a great relationship, but it's tough to balance that for sure.
Especially when you're tired, you're exhausted, and you can say no to your dad, but you can't say no to your coach.
Right.
They're two separate things, but when you start playing with that that boundary, I know.
Yeah, it's tough for sure.
Very tough.
So all your friends are wrestlers, pretty much now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I would say so now.
what else is like being married to a wrestler and being part of that community for you? Have you learned anything in any of the principles that's kind of carried over into your life, competing or whatever?
Oh yeah, definitely. Just dedication in general. You know, committing to something, all the tournaments, and you know, even just how he coaches his guys. Like, okay, now it's game time, and you know, and I think me and the kids apply that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Both your children talked about, they give great answers. When I asked them, I said, how has wrestling affected your life? And they're both boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you to see that.
So am I.
You know,
Yeah.
it's
I'm
neat
really
to
excited.
catch them in their own element.
Yeah, definitely.
But I won't give you more spoilers, but it was good. It was good for sure.
Good.
So obviously you probably, the desire wasn't to necessarily to meet a wrestler and to be part of that life forever. What's your life? What your dreams and aspirations? What's, you know, in college now? Are you still going to try to compete? What's life like for you?
I think no on the competing.
Yeah,
I think
no
I
one,
already did that.
Yeah.
You know, that's done. And
You
that
don't
was
want
a
to wrestle?
No, I don't think so.
Not so much.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm sorry
Go
to
ahead.
interrupt you,
Go
but when I first met her, she told me, she goes, if I trained for 4 years,
Every girlfriend thinks
I think I could be pretty good.
Every
too.
girl- yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not could be pretty good. I'm pretty confident I can make an Olympic team at whatever sport you want. 4 years? You
If I had
kidding
a
me?
salad to do nothing else.
Yeah, so does everybody else. And they're the
Everybody.
freaks of the world.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
it for 30 years. I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I
I love the
know. Yeah, I
confidence
know.
though. That's incredible.
Yeah.
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 It's incredible. I told you, she peaks up high too
That's
on the dance floor.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your kids are going to be on another level. I mean, they already are.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So
True.
yeah, I'm sorry, going back to your
Yeah.
aspirations and
Yeah. So, but competing's that's out of the way. That's done. Still work out a lot just to be healthy for myself and everybody else. But right now, focusing on real estate.
Okay.
So getting that started, and I've been a coach at Orange Theory for about 5 years now.
That's a great club.
Yeah.
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 She's always looking for more.
Yeah.
She really is.
Yeah.
I'm always impressed with her all the time.
Yeah.
And she did got a degree in radiology back in the day, and she's always just looking for the next opportunity. And I'm just waiting for it to all fall into place.
Sure.
Because she's very organized. She works very hard. She's very smart, and I just know for a fact, and I don't waver from this ever. That she's going to blow up at some point,
Sure.
in one way or the other.
Whatever she wants,
and
yeah.
I do a lot of that too. I'm always doing 10 things at a time.
Me too. Yeah.
Or 100 things, and then the one that goes a little bit. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do another one. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. We fail so often.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be daunting, but okay, what are you gonna do? Stop trying?
I love that.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
just that.
Yeah.
That's
Very
good.
much
Yeah.
that.
So so from what I'm hearing, you don't have any problem with I mean, obviously nobody likes to quote unquote fail, but you like to learn. You like to try. You like to, that's incredible.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we need more of that.
Yeah.
I think that in culture now, people are so, again, speaking to your children, we talked about fear,
right.
And like so many people just live in fear, afraid to make the mistake, afraid to try this or try that. Sounds to me like you're someone that's not,
right.
And you're willing to get out there and try.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Well, that's real good. Yeah.
And the world needs wrestling.
That's true.
2022, the world is soft.
Yeah.
People are weak.
Yep.
Yeah.
We need wrestling.
You're right.
All the time. Everybody needs wrestling.
Yep. No,
to get beat up one time.
For sure. And that's what I love about wrestling, is because it's one of those things, and still in school, that you can be tough, you can be physical. Part of what we say in our wrestling room is our sport starts where yours stops.
Yeah.
When somebody bumps into you on a basketball game, hold on, there's trouble.
Hang on.
Yeah, we gotta separate that.
Yeah.
Ours starts there.
Yeah. And also you get humbled.
Yes.
Daily.
Absolutely.
Daily. JB, every day, Snyder, man.
Everyone.
They don't talk shit ever because they get humbled daily.
Yeah.
And those guys are the best ever. And it's and there's just so many more I could name, but it's such a humbling sport all the time. If you don't respect your one practice partner that you beat up every single day, he'll get you. I'm like, God dang. And so
that's so true.
It's such a good thing, and it's something that all these little Fortnite players in Call of Duty, they can talk their crap and they never get humbled for real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
They actually all flex on each other all the time, and no one ever does anything.
Yeah,
they need wrestling.
Yeah, they do. I think that's one thing I love about wrestling too. It's just it's like almost instant accountability.
Yep.
Yeah,
instant.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And in a world where most people are not accountable to anything other than their screen or whatever may be the case, wrestling brings it. So Meredith, you ever thought about coaching? Because obviously you do you look incredible. You take care of yourself in a way that has to be. Well, I can tell you, I tell my wife the same thing. There is a need for that. You ever thought about doing any of that?
Like a personal fitness? Yeah.
But I mean, like on your own level, like doing your own thing.
Yeah, I've thought about it. I mean, I've been involved with the group fitness for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
Just because I love the workout.
Sure.
And I met amazing people, especially moving to New Jersey here. So that's like a whole nother community.
Yeah, but she is a coach. She
does coaching.
She
with
coaches
the
the Orange Theory. She
Yeah.
coaches these classes, and it's my world, So I was always I always wanted to push her into doing that or help facilitate that.
Yeah.
And when we were in California, she did her first classes there, and she was so scared.
I was
so anxious all night.
I would say to him, like, I don't want to do
she
this.
goes, can you break my leg?
What scared you about it? Because you seem seem like a confident person.
Yeah. No, I think I'm like fine one-on-one with somebody.
It's just the group.
Yeah, group and like getting to the point being like, all right, well, why would I know more about this than all these people? You know what I mean? Like gaining that confidence.
Always very social, but
didn't,
for whatever reason, didn't want to do that. And I think it's such a huge skill to be able to public speak and be able to control a room and be able to talk to people and be confident. And now she's coached how many classes? 700?
Probably over. Yeah. Over 700.
Yeah, but that's the thing about it. Like, obviously the fitness side of it.
Yeah.
I definitely see you being able to do that. But to me, you seem like someone that can coach.
Yeah.
Like you can, if it's real estate, you can coach.
Yeah.
Like that seems, I mean, again, I'm just off the cuff here. It's if you feel like a strong leader in that sense.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
that'd be really cool. Just
I appreciate that.
my wife, she's always watching these things with these women. You seem like one of those people she watches,
Yeah.
So
Coaching.
I mean, it comes from you guys,
Right.
Yeah. Coaching is life, right?
It is.
Coaching, parenting is coaching.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's true.
It's all about how you can portray what you're trying to accomplish, right?
Yeah, that's true.
She's very, very good at it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, you just led me right to my next question. You got two incredible kids.
Yeah.
What's it like being young parents? What's it like being wrestling parents and, coaching, parenting two incredible kids like that you have? Give me that.
Well, I think just recently they're really starting to grow up. So it's like every conversation, not that it didn't matter before, but they're like hanging on to every word now, really learning big life lessons. And there's a lot of pressure right now.
Yeah. Like you get away with a lot more before.
I didn't get the memo on that.
Yeah.
Reese's like, nah, wait, what?
What? We're supposed to be paying attention?
Yeah.
It's been awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's,
They're
parenting
so
is
good.
the hardest thing you'll ever do, but it's the easiest thing because you never care about something else more than that ever.
So true.
Right.
It's so easy to be all in because it's you.
So
Yeah.
true.
Little mini version of you, and
Right.
I'm around them every day, and I get
Yeah.
to talk to them every day, and I coach them all day, every day. I got to pull it back. I got
Yeah.
to not coach them so much.
Right.
You know, you got to find that balance.
Yeah. That's
good.
But
Yeah.
it's been so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, and they're such good kids.
Yeah.
they are.
I mean, our whole parenting style has always been just be nice and have fun.
Right.
And
Do what you want to do.
not
and
scold
then,
them. Not,
yeah.
you know, it's like everybody makes jokes like their friends, like, oh, we can just do whatever we want at the Humphreys' house. But, I mean, that's kind of how we are. Just
Right.
like, don't do anything ridiculously
Yeah.
stupid and you'll get in
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah.
But, and our kids don't
And they
push.
don't.
No, they don't.
No.
No.
They know where the line
Right.
is, and they're not.
Yeah.
They won't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Your kids seem from the, obviously I just met them person to person, but they're very respectful, and that's something that comes through. They model that.
Yeah.
They see that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's where that comes from. But they have courage, and kids their age typically don't have courage. And again, I think that's taught and also fostered.
Yeah.
And you've given them from the outside, you've given your kids permission to have a voice.
Yeah.
It's a constant battle too.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Obviously I've raised mine, but they're in the culture we're in. There's a lot of pushback, but I just commend you guys for sticking to that because it's evident, in their life. You came in here, in the podcast and little pros, and just having a good time, but also they're personable, they're talking to my wife and they're doing things that it's sad, but it's lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of kids will run off and they're
Yeah.
stuck on their phone and they won't talk to you, so
It's
Right.
even more important to
Yeah.
teach
Right.
those skills now
it is.
Right.
because one, you'll be able to talk to your camera
Yeah.
for one,
Right.
but two,
Yeah.
it's a lost art. So if you do those little small things, you get such a good feedback.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
so obvious. It should be so easy, but we just don't talk about it enough.
So true.
And we definitely focus on it. So thank you.
Yeah.
No,
that's awesome.
thank you guys for
Yeah.
raising.
Because I was worried when they came in here.
No, they did awesome, man. It was cool. I love that my son was in here because I was telling Parker that I'll send Javen, my son, he's going to be 20 here soon. I'll send him video. I'm like, hey, check out what Parker's doing. I said,
Yeah.
dude, I know what it's like to be different. And
Yeah.
Parker's doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's at the age where sometimes when you're too cool, people kind of push that
Yeah.
back a little bit.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, dude, I'm a 45-year-old sending my 20-year-old son videos of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, just keep rocking
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
He's I think he's very cool. He's exactly the amount of cool that I want him to be.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
he's not full of himself.
No, he's not arrogant at
because
all.
All of his friends he thinks cooler than him.
Right.
And he's hanging out with all these 14, 15-year-old flippers that are
Yeah.
super impressive and they can do better flips. So he's very humbled and almost shy when I see some of his other friends come through, and they're definitely the cool kids in school that just they're talking all this, and Parker sits back. And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like where he's at.
Yeah.
That's good.
definitely.
And it's like I showed him I can flip a little bit
Mm-hmm.
compared to what I know what flipping is
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I showed him the ropes, and I think they model work ethic, right? As
Yeah.
you're saying, and they know that we both work very, very hard.
Yep.
And I just let him loose.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I mean, he was like 8 years old, and I'm like, dude, I can't do that with you. I don't know what to teach you.
Like you surpassed that. I'm
Yeah,
done.
it happened in like 3 months. I'm
Yeah.
like, uh-oh. To be
Yeah.
a kid and to have the access, if you build it, they will come. Like, just
Yeah.
give them 5
Right.
trampolines. Well,
Yeah.
show
So
them.
that's. I asked him. I said, "You got a trampoline? Because I'm gonna get some B-roll." And he's like, "Yeah, I got one. There's 4." I was like, "There's 4 in the backyard." Yeah,
Yeah.
that's super cool.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to just commend you guys on, it takes 2 to be this way. I watched a video of you throwing Parker in the air, and the first one he didn't make, and the second one he did. I thought about 2 things or 3 things. One, that kid's a stud, right? And we discussed that particular clip. 2, what it must have felt like for you to have the courage to do that, because most dads wouldn't. Most dads would talk their kid out of it, or let's move them over to the water. 3, mom. Normally, mom's the one that knocks all that down.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so to have a cheerleader as a mom and the support, that's huge. That's not only huge as a parent, but it's huge as a couple.
Yeah.
To know that you got, if he says it, I got his back. So
Yeah,
I love that clip. It means a lot to me.
Me too.
But I would like to know your guys' thoughts on that whole thing.
Yeah. So the clip is he's doing a double backflip off my hands on rocks.
Yes.
Essentially, there was no beach in Greece.
No.
We were there for the Veteran Worlds, and it's rocks. They're not sharp rocks.
Right. But the rocks.
They're
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're rocks. And I'll speak for Meredith a little bit, but it's been such a positive thing to continue to watch him grow.
Yeah.
And there's always those scary situations, and he's trying tricks that are very dangerous, and they're getting more dangerous by the second. And I'm supposed to be bouncing him higher, and I'm not good at it. I'm like, dude, I don't know. I'm battling this all the time.
I can imagine.
I'm really battling it all the time but I trust him. I mean, you got to be in the danger zone to be dangerous,
That's
so
good.
you have to let somebody fall and get hurt, and you have to let him figure it out. And I'm watching him. I'm like, I think he's got it.
Yeah.
And I trust him. And he did the first one, and he belly flopped on the rocks. And I was like, damn it. And he jumped up. He goes, oh yeah, I got it.
Wow.
I go, all right. So I don't want to take much credit for it, because he jumped up. He goes,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I got it.
That's awesome.
Like, bro, what? Stop. Don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And just like you said, I trust both of them. So I know if he says like, no, it's good, or I believe them.
Yeah.
And you would never say that unless you were sure.
Yeah, just don't land on your head, because we're in
Yeah.
Greece, and you're not going to ruin my vacation. Buddy.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I love it though. I mean, again, a testament to you too for doing. I think it's going against the grain, especially in the culture we live in now. That is not a popular look. And I saw one other clip recently that it was like on him and Reece on the same page. You might know the guy, Uriah Faber.
Yeah.
So
that's my boy.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Uriah, did you see him with his little boy here recently at the water park?
Maybe.
He was up at the top of the slide. It wasn't a real long slide, but it was a real steep. I mean, it was probably maybe 8 foot or whatever, but it was real steep. And his boy can't be 2. I mean, he's the little one. And he has him at the top, lets him go. And the boy goes down in the water, and he's doing what, when you learn teach a baby to swim, he's got his face in the water. He's doing this, waiting for dad to come down.
Yeah.
Dad comes down the slide after some time, scoops him out of the water. And the boy's like, yeah. But then right after that, the next clip, again, he had like a back-to-back like you did. The little boy's jumping off the edge, swimming, erratically to try to find his dad, but wants to do it over and over again.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? That Parker and Reece and his kid, what they're going to be able to do so much more.
Yeah.
They're going to pull so much more out of life.
Yeah.
Because of those opportunities.
Yeah.
I think we're doing our kids a disservice and each other a disservice when we put the handcuffs on people.
Yeah. Those are such learning moments.
Such learning moments.
You have to let them happen.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't go that well.
Right.
It really doesn't.
You're right. You're right.
And they don't just come up for air and say, wow, that was fun. Sometimes it ruins the day.
Exactly. But
but the more you do that, the more they trust you, and they know you're going to get there, and it ends up working out so much better, and the growth is exponential. It's not even close.
No, that's so good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing it. Both you guys. Again, it takes a team. I'm very similar in my parenting style. My wife had to get used to that because she's very nurturing, very loving. Yeah. But it was one of those things where we had to both be on the same page, because if not, that causes a lot of the conflict between the two of you. It's huge for the kids as well.
Yeah, nurturing, loving, but also love them so much that you got to let them get hurt.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I love it. So you guys are raising 2 kids. Do you see this is a quote. I don't know who said it, but it says that you are raising your kids will marry someone like you, right? And they're becoming a version of you as well. What does that look like to you? Are you trying to push them? I'm at that point where my daughter is married now to a wrestler.
Oh, okay.
He wrestled at University of Nebraska.
Good job.
Yeah, right. So we're good there. My son's in that market, but that's a big moment. But my wife and I, and I'm sure you guys are similar, we've been very transparent about our relationship. We don't necessarily fight in front of our kids, but we don't fight that much in general.
Yeah.
But if we do, we like, we do our own thing. But in general, we try to live our life as real as possible in front of our kids. Is that similar?
It'd be impossible for us not to. Our kids are around us all the time.
Okay.
24/7.
Yeah.
So they're in your business, whether you want them there.
Yeah. Get off
They know
me.
everything.
All day, every day. If we're fighting, they know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's good too, because then they can pick up on conflict resolution and working through things, because we'd all be lying if we didn't say that there wasn't issues at times.
Right.
Life is life, and but I want my kids to learn those processes too.
Right.
I feel like in the culture we live in, there's a lot of separation, so.
Yeah, but I'm proud of who we are.
Yeah.
It's easy for me to show them because I work really hard at my relationship. I work really hard at being a dad, and she does at being a mom.
Yeah.
And so it's very easy for me to let them in on everything.
Yeah.
I don't lie about anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And if we do get in a fight or whatever, I do something crazy and they see.
She said it.
No, I'll be the first to admit, though, like, you know what, guys, I was wrong.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, she does a very good job.
That's good.
And yeah, so we're always
so about once a day.
Let's talk. So you get it.
Yeah.
But she always talks.
Yeah, that's so good.
So that's good.
She always apologizes.
I love it. That's awesome. Now, I wanted to ask you about this. You were, in a recent history, you went through a health scare. Tell me, if you don't mind sharing, just share with us a little bit, because I know there's people that are going through similar situations.
Yeah.
And you're such a strong leader. I want to give you the opportunity to tell people what that was like for you, and what the process has been like for you since then.
So the only reason I got involved in that was my sister. She's 3 years older than me. So at the time, she was 35. She found out she had breast cancer, and which I'm 36 now.
Okay.
So she found out, and if you're that young and you have breast cancer, it's a good chance you have that gene. So she got tested for it, and she's great now. She has good health, and she got it taken care of. Had the same surgery I did, obviously, because she had cancer. So when I learned that I had that gene, odds are already really high.
Right.
But that I have a sister that got it essentially at the same age I was.
Right. Yeah.
It was like not even it was a quick decision for
Sure.
us. Yeah.
Yeah. She's very humble in that answer.
Yeah.
It was a very quick decision for her. Her dad's a doctor.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
And we knew that was the right choice medically, but the toll that has on people is such a crazy thing. And so if you don't know, she had the BRCA2 mutation, and that means that you have a 95% chance of having breast
90,
cancer.
yeah.
90. Okay.
Whatever.
So it's up there.
There she goes, being crazy again.
You'll expect an apology later.
So clearly, if you're thinking mathematically, of course,
absolutely.
easy choice,
But
take all the tissue out of your breast and hope that they don't have to take the nipple, or you're looking on Google and it's scars that are X's across your entire chest, and it's a horror show. And she is super smart and organized. Like I said before, she did a lot of research to find the doctors that are in our network. We had to change networks, actually. Insurance networks to fit the two doctors that we had asked 100 people about, and she did this all by herself. And the result is phenomenal, but what a scary, mature decision. Even if it goes south, still the right decision.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted you to share, because I think awareness and making that, it's not an easy choice, but again, being proactive like you are, and I just want to encourage our listeners.
Yeah.
Don't slip on those things, and I'm glad Reece is there. I watched obviously via social media, but it was a support,
Definitely.
I have a theory that I can tell what type of person someone is and who they are as a human by the way they wrestle. And I know, I watched, again, your husband wrestle for years.
I'm way better now.
But he is a passionate person and an incredible, he works hard and he leaves it all on the line, right?
Yeah.
And so I believe that is getting into my closing here. That is who I see him as a human.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that you get the good with the bad when you get a passion person, right?
Yeah.
I believe that is, I believe passion is the most critical emotion we have, but it can also be the most torturous.
Yeah.
I like that.
We have to learn to hone that because a lot of wrestlers are that way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But because he's that person, you can count on him. You
Yeah.
can depend on him. He will go through hell and back to
Mm-hmm.
take care of you and the family.
Mm-hmm.
He will be the rock that you need to stand on in the hardest times of your life.
Yeah.
He will fight when there doesn't look like there's an answer and a way out, in a way that you will never see another man do.
Yeah, this one was so tough though for me.
I could
because
imagine.
I'm so positive all the time. This was one that could go very south.
And you didn't have any control over it.
And no control. And I was leaning on her
Wow.
for the most part. And she was the one that was keeping it together.
Yeah.
And we went back and forth, you know.
Sure.
I didn't quite grasp it at first. And then I'd handle it really well one day. And then she'd handle it poorly or I'd handle it poorly.
Yeah.
It's just such a tough thing. And we've always just dealt the hand that we're dealt, you know.
Yeah.
We played that hand. And next best thing moving forward.
Yeah.
And she'd be the rock, I'd be the rock, and it was just a team effort, and it ended up being pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think if you have a chance to prevent anything,
Yeah.
you know, potentially like that, I would hope Reece would do the same thing.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah.
like,
Yeah, and looking back, what
honestly.
a correct choice.
Right.
well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for
Of
sure.
course. Whether I would have ended up getting it or not. I mean,
yeah, we're good.
you
now.
wouldn't even know,
No more
but-
stress.
yeah, exactly.
If you were
Yeah.
speaking to other couples, what would you give me just a couple strong points on how to have a strong marriage and raise a family in the world that we live in?
So the thing that's driven us to be very loving, and I still feel like I'm in the honeymoon phase of our relationship.
That's good.
We both feel lucky.
Okay.
Both feel lucky to be with each other. Find somebody that you feel that way about, and
Right.
then you'll
true.
do all the extra all the time. And I always feel that way with her.
That's good.
Of course, she feels that way about me.
No, but
You don't even have the answer. He's
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, but we both work hard
True.
for each other.
Uh-huh.
You know, constantly.
Yeah, because we feel that way. We do. We
Right.
work really hard because I'm
Right.
constantly trying to impress her. I try and make her laugh every single day.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think I've accomplished that for a
Yeah.
total of 2,485 days in a row.
That's good.
There was one day.
One day. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good.
But
though.
it's been phenomenal. 11 years, and it's been.
Yeah.
I have zero complaints. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's good. So make the investment.
Right.
And like you said, I believe that I told somebody the other day, I was like, I plan on dating my wife until the day we die.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it too, is just like
Right.
you said, stay involved,
Yeah.
feel lucky.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
don't go on
Yeah.
autopilot.
Yeah, exactly. Just like we are with our kids, though. Like, be nice to each other, you know?
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Because-
It's
yeah.
hard. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm speaking for myself. It's hard sometimes to be nice whenever
Yeah.
you're having just
Right.
no reason, but you're just having that day you don't want to feel like being
Exactly.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then fight.
Yeah,
Fight.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. Drama, emotion.
Yep.
Those things
Yeah.
are real.
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
real. Yep. Well, I do. My other world, I do counseling. Right. So one thing I do is marital counseling. So
I was going to say, this feels like a therapy
yeah,
session.
I don't want it to be fun. Yeah. No, I tell people fight, but fight fair and fight on point.
Yeah.
Right, because most time we get in fights and we'll be like,
Right.
you know, 10 years ago, you know, it's like it's
Right.
this so unfair
Because
things.
if I actually fought her, I would win.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know. She's got 4 years to.
She got right.
Yeah.
If she had 4 years
Yeah.
of fighting experience.
Yeah. No, that
You never know.
you never know.
That's amazing. I like
Yeah.
that.
No, but definitely, I think fighting is part of it. You know, but
Yeah.
just fight fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does discipline mean to you guys?
Discipline.
Discipline.
Don't have any.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, wrestling teaches you discipline all the time, but you use that in everyday life.
Yep.
I simplify it when I'm talking to people, high school kids who have trouble making weight. I say, stop making bad decisions.
Right.
Don't make bad choices. Especially with cutting weight, it's so cut and dry.
Yep.
Stop drinking soda. Stop eating chips. Like, it feels good in that quick moment, and then it's a negative.
Right.
And I think they get away with it, or they make excuses. But the same thing with life and with marriage. Stop making bad decisions.
Yeah, but
Right.
They're bad decisions. Be selfish in that moment, because the future you
yeah,
will like that. So it's like
true.
being selfless all the time in this relationship is a good thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a good dad, and I'm a good husband, and I'm a good person. My life is better.
Right.
Right.
So
So
it's
good.
only benefiting me, really,
That's right.
in the long run.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just be selfish.
That's good. How about you? Discipline.
Keep making the right choices.
I don't know, did your mic just drop out?
Yeah, it did.
I think so.
There you go.
Oh,
You're back.
there
You're
you
back.
are.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey.
Just had to
Yeah.
show a little love there.
No, but I mean, discipline it, life in general, just keep making the right choices,
Right.
you know, and that takes discipline,
It does.
you know?
It does.
Yeah.
Discipline takes discipline.
Discipline.
This one takes
Yeah.
discipline, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there ain't no doubt about that.
Yeah.
One last question here, because of the title of my podcast here. What is success to each of you guys? I asked your kids this too, by the way.
Happiness.
I was just going to say that.
Oh,
Dang.
You
but
stole
I
my
said it
answer.
first, guys.
Yeah.
So run the tape back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our family does a really good job of doing the things that make them happy. And you know, everybody says success is not money. It's not
Right.
this. But I find that I'm happier when I'm chasing something.
Right, yeah.
Like chasing money, or chasing a better position in my job, which is chasing success, chasing being a rapper,
Right.
chasing the Olympic dream, doing beach wrestling, doing adult wrestling, trying to make more opportunities for people to wrestle. There's always something that I want to chase, but I'm chasing it because that's what brings happiness to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Chasing being a better husband, to chasing watching my kids do great things. Like happiness is everything. And my brother is one of the best at being happy in the moment.
That's good.
And money, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Not in the slightest. He's constantly giving up opportunities to be happy.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so he's found himself in a position where everybody loves the value that he brings, but they will let him do whatever the hell he wants all the time because they want him in a room and he's good at what he does. And if he wants to be there, he'll be there and he'll do a great job, but he's going to be happy all day, every day.
That's
and
good.
I envy it sometimes, but I also think I live very similar.
Yeah, you do.
Everything I do, some of my favorite parts of the day are when I go to work.
Yeah.
I go to practice and I go to the lifts and
Right.
I hang out with my best friends, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
And so continue to do things like that that make you happy.
Yeah,
and that's what feels like success to me.
That's good. It's
and
good.
setting it up for our kids. I mean, we just recently moved to this house.
Right. Okay.
And that was to get to a better school system. You know, they have better friends here. They have, you know, I don't know.
Everything.
Yeah,
right.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that makes me happy.
yeah, that's
setting up
good.
their future.
That's
makes me
good.
happy. Yeah.
That's real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more in the moment. I need some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
Makes a great
Yeah.
balance there
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I'm going to close it out like this. I like to always just kind of speak over my guest, and I just want to take you guys from the outside looking in. You guys are an incredible couple. You know, I consider, you know, people in this world, some are given and some are taking, and you guys are givers, and you're contributing in a way that I don't know that you fully understand. You guys you're living loud and proud of who you are, and you're making a statement with even just the name, the family name, and it's encouraging. And it's, you know, like I said, I got a daughter and a son-in-law that are young, married, and I love the fact that they have people like you two to look up to, and to see that it's possible to be in love, be attracted to one another, raise a family, do cool stuff, and be intentional about those things. And Reece, I appreciate your passion. For instance, watching you as a little boy wrestling all the way up through, you've been the same person. You've been a passionate person that is just, I can count on bringing a certain energy no matter what you're doing. Mm-hmm. It's continual and it's a constant flow of this energy. And I just appreciate that, man. The world needs more people like you. And I just, from the outside looking in, man, I'm a fan. And to your lovely bride, I just, again, you radiate teacher to me. You're someone that people should follow. And I don't know, again, your positivity, your support, your quiet love and strength that you bring to the table is, I believe it's literally the synergy that keeps this thing running. So
I appreciate that.
Don't ever think that it's, it is Highlight Humphrey, but I promise you, Meredith is bringing the reels too. So we appreciate you on the outside looking in. You guys are incredible. We love you guys. Thank you guys so much for being on the podcast.
Hey, thank you, man. That's like the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. So we appreciate you. This is amazing. You guys got it going on, man. Run this thing up.
Well, that's cool, man. We appreciate you guys. If you could invite 1 or 2 or 3 of your friends on this thing, you got anybody off the top of your head you want to throw under the bus to say, hey, I think they'd be great on the podcast?
CJ Brucky.
Yeah, for sure.
Nate Jackson.
Okay.
Always, we've run it from the NJRTC. We used to call it the Nate Jackson RTC because it was just him and I. Yeah. And we built it up to something pretty special.
Absolutely.
Ayers. Yeah. Ayers is amazing.
Okay.
You already did JB?
Yep.
So many people. Yeah. I got a bunch for you. I'll let you know.
That's good. Well, this community's strong, man. And I appreciate you guys, and just keep being front runners. I love it.
Awesome.
Thanks,
guys.
Really appreciate it.
That's it.
Cool.
If it looks too hard, you try it. If your body says no, you defy it. If it's a better way, you apply it.